Assalamualaikum. My name is FARIHA binti MANSUR, E 2019-1025-238. So today our group will be explain about overharvesting. So harvesting is called overexploitation, refers to harvesting a renewable source to the point of diminishing returns. So maknanya kat sini harvesting ni dia mendapatkan sumber yang boleh diperbaharui sehingga sumber pulangan semakin berkurangan. Second, overexploitation can lead to the destruction of the resource. This term can be applied to natural resources such as wildlife plantation, fish stock, and forests. So, in ecology, overexploitation describes one of the 5 main activities threatening global biodiversity. This can result in extinction at the population level and even extinction of whole species. So, in conservation biology, the term is usually used in the context of human economic activity that involves the taking of biological resources or organisms in larger numbers than their population can withstand. So, overharvesting can lead to resource destruction, including extinction. So, kenapa dia boleh lead to resource destruction and extinction? Sebab dia mengambil masa yang lama untuk menghasilkan populasi baru. Sebagai contoh, kena tunggu musim mengawan dan sebagainya. So, contohnya kita tangkap ikan banyak-banyak sampai ikan yang tinggal di lautan tu semakin berkurangan. So, ikan yang tinggal tu tak sempat nak ganti populasi yang hilang. So, it can lead to extinction. So next, it's also possible for overharvesting to be sustainable. So to conclude, overharvesting is not an activity limited to humans. For example, introduced predators and herbivores can overexploit native flora and fauna. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is KHADIJAH WADINA. My matric number is 0111025258. In this slide, I'm going to talk about effects of overharvesting. Sustained overharvesting is one of the primary threats to biodiversity. Overharvesting can lead to resource destruction, including extinctions at the population level, and even extinction of whole species, and also depleting the numbers or amounts of certain resources can also change their quality. For example, the overharvesting of food store plants like pokok palmalia yang terdapat di Asia Tenggara, daunnya digunakan untuk jerami dan pembungkusan makanan dan dari itu juga mengakibatkan daunnya menjadi lebih kecil. Overharvesting not only threatens the resource being harvested but can directly impact human as well. For example, by decreasing the biodiversity necessary for medicinal resources, a significant proportions of drug and medicines are natural products, which are derived directly or indirectly from biological resources. However, unregulated and inappropriate harvesting could potentially lead to overexploitation, ecosystem degradation, and loss of biodiversity. Further, it can negatively impact the right of the communities and states from which the resources are taken. In the next slide, I'm going to talk about cascade effect. Overexploitation of species can also result in cascade effect, particularly if a habitat loses its apex predator. Because of the loss of the top predator, a dramatic increase in their prey species can occur. In turn, the unchecked prey can then overexploit their own food resources and until population's number dwindle, possibly to the point of extinction. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Naqiuddin bin Alipuddin, E20191025-246. Overharvesting, as we all know, is the second biggest direct threat to species after habitat destruction. Plants and animals are often exploited for food and medicine purposes. Animal species are often taken as pets and their parts are used as decorative items. So now, I will be explaining type of wildlife that are at risk because of overharvesting. Many species from various ecosystems has been declining in terms of their numbers due to overharvesting. It took years to recover the sources, yet the action of overharvesting declined the process of recovery, causing species loss. So not only natures are losing them, but we are also losing one of the most precious species to us, and it is all because of overharvesting. So the first one we are looking at aquatic lives. Overharvesting in fishing, or overfishing we call it, is increasing global demand for seafood due to industrialization of fishes, causing people to take more fish from the oceans, lakes and rivers than it is sustainable. Prize fish, such as the swordfish, cod and tuna, they have undergone dramatic declines over the years because people took way too much of this type of fish without giving them time to produce new generation of their species. And the next one we have marine invertebrates, such as the oysters, crayfish, crab, are all at risk of overharvesting. Horseshoe crab, whose eggs provide food for migratory birds, fish and organisms, they are being overharvested as bait for eel and whelk fishing. Also, octopuses, they are also suffering declines worldwide due to heavy fishing pressure. Shells and corals, of course, we all know they are collected for ornaments and jewelry. And now we are looking at the terrestrial mammals. Terrestrial mammals such as the elephant, tigers, rhinos, they have always been hunted for their fur, food, and for their horns or antlers. So these mammals are also trapped for the pet trade, zoos, and biomedical research. However, overharvesting in trees causing habitat loss. Overharvesting also causes destruction of these type of animals, their habitats. So it is a big contributor in these declining numbers for few animals such as orangutan and Bornean sunbear, who has been listed under the vulnerable species. And the last one we have the plant species. Humans, we take way too many plants from the wild. Some plants, such as orchids, are so prized by collectors that they are now in danger and legally protected from poaching by international law. A number of tree species that are prized for their wood, such as the mahogany, are under threat because of overharvesting. This is because this type of tree, this wooden tree, they took years to develop into the big size, but then humans non-stop loggings, take them from the nature, and then without giving nature time to actually produce more of this type of species. So it is a loss of species and it is so unsustainable. That is all from me. Thank you.
Hi, I am SYAHMIE. So I'm going to explain about tragedies of overharvesting. Overharvesting is a serious threat to many species, especially aquatic ones. Common resources or resources that are shared, such as fisheries, are subject to an economic pressure known as the tragedy of the commons, in which essentially no harvester has a motivation to exercise restraint in harvesting from a certain area, because that area is not owned by that harvester. The natural outcome of harvesting common resources is their overexploitation. For example, most fisheries are managed as a common resource even when the fishing territory lies within a country's territorial waters. Because of this, fishers have very little motivation to limit their harvesting, and in fact technology gives fishes the ability to overfish. In a few fisheries, the biological growth of the resource is less than the potential growth of the profit made from fishing if that time and money were invested elsewhere. In this case, for example, whales, the economic forces will always drive toward the fishing the population to extinction.
Hey guys, my name is THIVYA KESAVARAJ and my metric number is E201910252256. Today, in this video, I like to share some solutions to overharvesting. So let's get into the video. Solutions to overharvesting. Number 1. Stop overfishing. The trick is to scale these solutions up to global scale, encouraging countries that have originally been resistant to help and get them on board, and supporting countries that don't have the means to update their fishing policies themselves. Number 2. Create more marine protected areas. More no-catch zones must be established to allow fish populations and their ecosystem to recover and replenish themselves to ensure fishing for future generations. Number 3. Stop trolling. Trolling drags huge nets through the ocean that scoop up every animal and the ecosystem in this pathway, resulting in massive wasteful bycatch. Dead fish are returned to the sea because they weren't the target fish. Trolling needs to be banned outright. Number 4 is joining a campaign and support organizations. Some organizations that are working towards more sustainable oceans, such as Canadian Wildlife Federation, Environmental Defense Fund, Greenpeace Canada, Sea Shepherd Conservation Society, World Wildlife Fund. These are not the only campaigns or organizations that are around the world. You can do more research to get to know about more campaigns and organizations and make yourself involved in it. Thank you.